Hello YouTube and welcome to another Linux tutorial. So in this video I will show you some very interesting and useful PHP Composer command. So are you ready? Let's get started. So as you may know, what is Composer? So Composer actually, as you can see here in the official site, it's a dependency manager for PHP. So if you're working in a PHP project and you want to use some libraries, the better way to go is to install Composer and to manage actually the libraries and all the dependencies. So this is the official site, getcomposer.org. So here you can see a get started guide, which is very clear, which shows you actually the system requirement. It needs actually PHP 5.3.2 because actually Composer is PHP program, so you need PHP, okay? And here you can see the different guide for installing in Windows or Linux. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, okay? And you can also get the documentation from the same sites, okay? In a way, so here actually, let's say that we have installed Composer, and now I will show you the most interesting command and useful command to use with your Composer. But of course, when you are using Composer, you are downloading actually libraries from a very interesting or known site called packages.org, as you can see here. So here for the demonstration, I will use, for example, this PHP Mailer Library because I want to use it on my project, okay? So here I'm inside a folder called projects. So first of all, let me get the most basic command for Composer. So if I type composer boot, you will get here brief description of Composer. So of course it's dependency manager for PHP. So Composer is the dependency manager tracking local dependencies of your project and libraries, okay? And this is of course the official site where you can install it from, okay, and get also the documentations. Another command, composer -- version, to get actually the version of Composer I'm using. So as you can see here, I'm using version 1.10.13, okay? But you can install of course the latest version if you want. So now let's get started. So actually when you are creating a new project, first command that you must use is composer.init. So here in order to initialize your project. So here it will ask you different questions. So this command will guide you through creating your composer.json config file. So actually the purpose of this command is to create this composer.json file. So you can just hit enter and accept the default or use your custom configuration if you want. So here I will stick with the default. So here I'll just hit enter. The description for my project, I will just say, for example, this is a test project. Here we go. The author name and my address. I can just hit enter, 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 okay, enter. And here you can see a preview of the JSON, or actually the JSON file composer.json. Here do you want to confirm generation? So of course I want to generate this composer.json file. I will hit yes. And here as you can see now, a file has been created, composer.json. So let's take a look inside it, composer.json. So you can see it's a JSON file. It contains the name of my project, the description, and the author with the email address, okay? So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So now let's see, for example, I want to use a library, a specific library for my project. As I told you, I will just install this PHP Mailer Library, which will help me, for example, to work with emails inside my project. So if I click on this link, So you can see here description of this library. PHP Mailer is a full-featured email creation and transfer class for PHP. So here you can see the latest version 6.5.0. So how can I install or use this library with use of Composer? So it's pretty easy. All you have to do is to type composer require, because I will be using actually this library here. Normally you will enter here the vendor name, then the package name. So of course for my package, the vendor name and the package name are the same. Here we go, and I hit enter, and here Composer will fetch this package from the packages.org site and download it on my local directory. And of course it will be using the latest version here. So as you can see here, it has finished downloading the library. So let's now check actually our composer.json file to see what we get. So here you can see it's the same as the first one, but it has added here in this require the vendor name and the package name and the version also 6.5. okay. And also if we take a look at the directory here, let me clear that, you can see that now another file has been created called composer.lock and also a folder. So let's see what is inside this composer.lock file. So actually the composer.lock file will give us a deep view of the package and all its dependencies, okay. And the composer.json file is just an overview of the package name and the version. But here you can see a detailed view of about the authors of the packages and all the dependencies, okay. And as I told you, there is also vendor directory that has been created. So let's take a look inside it. So here you can see the composer.json file, the composer.log file that I just showed you, and inside the vendor you can see we have auto load PHP file. So this file is pretty actually important because you have to reference it in your project in order to work with, for example, PHP Mailer Library. And of course here we have a folder specific to the package name that we have downloaded, and you can see inside it we have all the PHP file and source file needed in order to work with our PHP Mailer Library, okay. So once again, a couple of files has been created: composer.json, composer.log, and a vendor directory, okay. So if you want to get rid of the package that we have installed, it's pretty easy. Just instead of require, you have to enter remove. So this command will remove actually the package that we have installed. Let's run it. Let's take a look now at our composer.json file. You can see that inside this require key we don't have any package because we have just removed it, okay. And we don't have our file composer.log file has disappeared because we don't have any package now, okay. So let's say now that we want to install a specific version of our package. So as you can see here on the side, the latest version is 6.5.0, but here you can see different versions, old versions, 5.0. So let's say for example that you want to work with an older version. How you can do that? It's pretty easy also. You can use the same command, but here you add between quotes the version name or the version numbers. For example, here I want to work with version 5.0.0 or 5.2.2. So I have entered here, and here we go, it will download the specific version numbers. Okay, so as you can see now, let's take a look at Composer. Normally we should get 5.2.2, which is the version that we have chosen. Okay, So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Another command that you can use in your project, for example, if I want to list all the packages that I have installed, all I have to do is to type the command composer.info. So here you can see the packages that I have installed, of course PHP Mailer and version here, and a little description of this library. Also the same command show also give us the same result actually. So you can use whatever you want, info or show, in order to show packages. And if you want to get a detailed view about the package, all you have to do is to type composer show, and here you have to add the package name or package vendor, for example PHP Mailer / PHP Mailer. Okay, here you have a detailed view of the package. We can see the name, the description, keyword, the version, also the type, which is library, and the license also. So it's under the GNU Lesser General Public License version 2.1. Okay, you can see also the source from the GitHub, distribution, also the path where this package exists actually in our local directory, and the different classes used in this library. Okay, so you can see that the composer commands are pretty useful for any PHP project. And if you want to get more commands, you can just type composer list. So the composer list command will list all the commands that you can use with composer. So you can see here composer, it gives us the version, and here the usage, command, option, that arguments. You can see here the options, so -H for help, -Q for quiet mode, and -V for the version. And here you can also choose the verbose mode if you want. And here you can see some commands that I have shown you before. For example, composer about will show short information about composer. The archive command creates an archive of this composer package. Okay, of course composer help display help for a command, and also you can get info about specific package using the composer info. And here you can see the command that I have used when I have created my first project, which is composer init, which create a basic composer.json file in the current directory. Okay, so you can go in deep with each command and use it depending of your own needs. So that was just a brief description of the composer actually utility, which helps you to actually manage the PHP dependencies and library into your projects. As always, I hope it has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing. Bye bye.